Yo, what's up, guys? It's Talon. So today we're going to be showing you guys how we achieved probably the rarest achievement in Wild Rift, apart from Master of Versatility level 3, and that's Master of Versatility level 2. So I have literally never seen someone get Master of Versatility level 3 before. I've seen maybe one or two other people with level 2, but this is genuinely more rare than Sovereign. There's 100% a lot more people who have hit Sovereign in Wild Rift, who have even hit Legend in Wild Rift, than have gotten this. And so if you don't know what you need to actually get Master Versatility level 2, to get level 2 you need 10 champions at 9,000 champion score or higher, and you need level 14 or level 12 on 4 of the 5 rules in Wild Rift. And so we did that, and now to get to level 3 we need to get every rule to level 14 and to get 10 champions to 12,000 champion score. And so you're going to see me one-tricking a lot of champions. I'm going to try to get Syndra, Warwick, and Echo this season, and then we'll find 3 champions next season to try to get to 12,000 champion score to officially get Master Versatility level 3, and honestly I think maybe be the first person in all of Wild Rift to get it, or at the very least one of the first, because again, if you guys have seen anyone get this, let me know. But yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys today, and then we're gonna show you the game that got me to Master Versatility level 2, so let's get right into that. Okay guys, so going to show you the game that got me Master Versatility level 2, and it's a weird one, which is why I actually thought it'd be kind of fun to show you guys. So I am duo with my top laner, and we end up lane swapping because Yasuo, if you guys don't know, is the hardest counter in all of Wild Rift, in my opinion, to Syndra, which you might think is weird because the wind wall doesn't block your basic abilities, but it blocks your ultimate, and he is able to start third ability level 1 and just absolutely go on top of you, and pretty much any champion who's easily able to get on top of you is going to counter you in lane. Yone, Echo, Yasuo. And because of that, Urgot also counters Fiora, and so we do a lane swap here. And what's really nice about this is how easy it is to get stacks onto something like Urgot. I'm just able to spam my abilities on him permanently, sit in the top lane, completely chill, and just poke him out for free and get a bunch of free stacks. Literally every ability I've had, pretty much, I'm able to land on him. And yeah, so if you guys don't know, Syndra is the champion that I needed to get to 9k champion score to officially get this, which is why if we win this game, which, you know, a bit of a spoiler alert, honestly, but that's fine, then we do get the Master of Versatility, and that's why I wanted to show you guys this game specifically, to show you kind of the final product of my Syndra gameplay after spamming the heck out of her for the last couple days. She's now my most played champion of the season because of that. So I've already made a lot of videos on Syndra, and so I'm not going to talk about all the small tips of her, but I will talk about a few of the things that I've learned that have been really, really nice on her. And the first one is going to be kind of understanding the pacing of when you want to hit certain stack amounts. So I've found that if I'm hitting my stacks pretty much perfectly, I'm able to get to about 40 stacks, which is where you get your first level evolve, at level 6. As soon as I hit level 6, usually that ability upgrade, because every ability upgrade gives you 4 stacks, that is the ability upgrade that's able to get me towards my 40 stacks. And so you can see here how I'm missing a little bit of CS in the lane, partially because I messed up my last hits, and partially because I choose to prioritize sometimes landing a spell over landing the hit on the CS. And so the lane ends up being kind of in a bad position here. Obviously my first time really playing this matchup, and I definitely make some mistakes to get the lane pushing, because when the lane's pushing into a matchup like this, he's kind of able to zone me. But I still have a bit of a gold lead, and I have a bunch of stacks already. So even though it's not an ideal start to the lane, it's still very, very much a fine start to the lane. So even if you miss a few last hits, or maybe you go slightly behind in gold early game on Syndra, you're perfectly fine with that because you scale really well, and your stacks are what really matters. So if you're getting those good stacks like I have been here, you're going to be completely happy. And then because he used the Scorpion, we're able to freeze with the Scorpion hitting our minions in front of the tower, and then we have a really easy time here because now he's just going to get absolutely tapped up by me. I'm already on 34 stacks, which is extremely quick, and we just continue to chill here and just farm up. And so I know a lot of you guys hate ranged top laners, but when you are playing a ranged top laner, you really want to take advantage of waves to create pressure. And the way that you can do this is by finding a freeze angle like I do here, and then once the enemy kind of walk up into your freeze, you end up building up a really big wave that you can eventually crash to dive with your jungle if your jungle comes, or if your jungle doesn't come, you just build up a really big slow push. And so here you see how we're building up a giant wave to eventually crash, and every time that the enemy walks up for the last hit, we're just going to poke him like we did there. We missed, a spell there, but overall getting a lot of poke. And again, already 46 stacks, already got 100 first strike gold, and just overall you know, in a very good spot, stacking up this wave, and really just overall kind of playing just for the stacks, playing to scale up, and that's really all that we're worried about. Then you're going to see here I grab my fruit, and I have these Sweet Tooth runes, so we're able to get 90 gold just from that alone, which is nice as well. And then we just continue to focus on poking him out. Again, just landing as many spells as we possibly can. The only goal in this matchup is to do that. Don't actually care about killing him. I just don't have the damage to kill him. And so we just poke him out. You can see he just prioritizes the wave. We prioritize killing him, or getting the stacks on him rather. And then I wanted to see if I could all in him here. We force out his flash. We don't get the all in, but we force his flash. We pressure him. And honestly, I just didn't know if I killed there. I didn't really know the damage on kind of an early game Urgot, so that just really was why we tried to do that. And then here we're just trying to make sure if he goes for the Scorpion, we poke him out, get a lot of free stacks again. And you can see I'm already on 60 stacks by the time that I hit level 7, or level, you know, in the middle of level 7 before first dragon. And so that's why we're just overall like really happy with how this lane is going. And that's generally how you can play into most tanks. So like if you're playing this in mid lane, you do the kind of a similar type of playstyle into like a Galio, for example, or a Malphite, or like any tank kind of mid laner, even like a Swain, this type of thing. This is sort of how you play that matchup. And so then we end up getting the recall. And notice how we're trying to get a recall about 10 seconds before the objective. You usually want to be a little earlier, say 20 or 30 seconds before the objective, so you can rotate and help out if you need. But at the end of the day, my Fiora is still mid. The plan is to swap with Fiora eventually and let her start to side lane, but she doesn't really have an angle to do that right now, and so we end up going back towards the top lane and just being happy with farming and all that, because we are still scaling up really nicely again. And the Urgot does rotate, and I was planning on matching his rotation, but then I noticed that the fight is already going to end by the time I get there, and so I decided to just prioritize the wave instead. And so we just end up warding or trying to hover the objective and just crashing the wave on top side. So I just skipped through a bit here, just to, you know, speed up the video since nothing really happened. And then we're just trying to zone the enemy off of this objective as our jungle comes, and we end up getting a nice little setup, canceling the Vise dash onto us and getting a bunch of damage, so our Kayn gets a really easy double kill. So you can just see the amount of spacing, the amount of zoning and damage that we had there allowed us to get a really nice situation. And then this is where we end up shifting towards the mid lane, because now, you know, we've scaled up. We hit our early kind of spikes. I'm about to hit 3 evolves because I'm 2 stacks away from my 3rd evolve. We get that first turret in mid lane, and the game is going swimmingly now. We recall for our item. I'm 5.1k gold, which is 1k gold ahead of that Urgot. So we got out of the lane ahead of the Urgot, hitting our item spikes perfectly and hitting already 3 evolves, basically right after first dragon. And yeah, I still have a cough. I don't know when this cough's gonna go away. I know it's been here for like over a week, and you guys are annoyed at me saying that I still have a cough, but I still have a cough. Don't know where this thing is, you know. I had strep throat, I was sick, and then it just like never went away. Kind of annoying. I'm not really sick apart from that though. I'm chilling overall. But yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. Either way, we're gonna prioritize this mid wave, even though the Yasuo rotates. We're just gonna go for the mid wave first, push this mid wave out, and then look to potentially roam afterwards if we see an angle. If we don't see an angle, not the end of the world, but we just go and kind of hover this bot lane to make sure we at least can stop the turret from dying or anything like that. And then we end up getting some poke onto this Yasuo here. The nice thing about playing in Yasuo is that you can have your abilities go through his wind wall, but the matchup sucks in mid lane. So like when you go to later parts of the game, it's not that bad of a matchup apart from his wind wall blocking your ultimate. But early game, it's an awful matchup. Of all the matchups I've played, it's the hardest. And I've played a bunch of it. So I've still been able to survive when I have played the matchup, because I've played it like 4 times at this point, like actually laning against him. And so I'm pretty comfortable laning against a Yasuo, but if the Yasuo is really good, there's nothing you can do no matter how well you play on Syndra at the end of the day. So we end up kind of cheating this mid wave, not grabbing the mid wave right away and going for the instant rotation, because I saw a decent chance of killing here, and I knew the Yasuo wouldn't immediately be there, so we end up wasting our flash for no reason. But we still get the kill, and we get the pressure in the lane. So still good, even though we kind of choked it. Didn't need to flash. And then the nice thing about this rotation is we get to take an entire turret afterwards. And that's really what I try to do really heavily with my roams and mids. So a lot of people will try to spam roams as much as possible. And a champion like Syndra just simply cannot really spam roams, because she just doesn't have that early game strength. Like, she's a good early laner, but she's not like so oppressive, so strong that she can just constantly create roam angles. And so what you do instead is when you find those roams, you really look for like breaking open that lane, you know, breaking the turret, if you get that kill, you know, you make sure that you get a lot of value afterwards, and you stick around, you get that turret, you get those plates and everything. Whereas a lot of people will try to take like 3 or 4 roams, you know, in the early game, and then sure, you get a lot of roams off, but how valuable are those roams really, you know? Whereas for me, I'm trying to get 1 or 2 roams off maybe, you know, but more focus on the fundamentals. Again, you know, I kind of spoke about it in a previous video against that Ari, where we were really focusing on the fundamentals of roaming properly and everything like that. And that's really kind of what we're focused on, is like, you know, push the wave first, then roam, rather than just taking a bunch of stupid roams. And then if you do take one of those roams, you make sure you get a lot of value out of it by getting the turrets and whatnot. And you saw we had a nice fight there. Fiora pops off, and we end up getting good setup. We caught out the Yuumi early with our first plus third ability combo, so the Yuumi got one shot, and then we're just able to, you know, go from there. And now we're scaling up really nicely. We're going to get an early recall for our Soul Stealer. So if you hit Soul Stealer by second Drake, you're really happy. And if you hit 100 stacks by second Drake, you're ecstatic, which I have done both of these things. I'm at 114 stacks, which is all 6 stacks away from, you know, max stacks. So I already have my ultimate evolved. I'm just an absolute menace right now at this point. There's pretty much nothing they can do to deal with me. And so we end up ulting the Yasuo and one-shotting him with that ult evolve. So just nice burst damage there. And yeah, I mean, at this point, the game's looking really smooth. We're just kind of sitting around looking for poke, zoning people off of the objective, just trying to see if we can find anything onto that Sivir. Everything like that. Side note, but a really nice thing that I've loved about playing mages mid lane in the recent meta is cleanse. Like now, when someone locks in Vi, I take cleanse and I don't have to worry about these ganks. Whereas before, when someone would lock in Vi and I'm a mid laner, I'd be like, okay, Vi decides to ult me, what can I do, right? But now it's like I have cleanse, so it's not the end of the world, and I absolutely love that. I've just found it to be really nice. But again, we push the wave and then we look for a rotation here. Pretty straightforward rotation. We end up one-shotting multiple people there, getting the double, and then getting the triple onto the Yuumi. So now we're just absolutely, you know, 1v9, not 1v9 because our team's doing really well, but, you know, just absolutely in a position to carry this game with the amount of strength we have. And so again, we're just going to go straight to that mid wave recall for our death cap, and then go cover the bot wave, which is a giant bot wave. And so again, just skipping through a little, you know, no reason to show you guys these boring parts, just making sure we're getting those bot waves. And then once we get the bot wave, we rotate towards mid again. Just those fundamentals, once again, you know, of pushing that lane before you do anything else, rather than, you know, just immediately rotating. So we make sure we cover that bot wave, we push out that bot wave, and then we rotate. And we're still able to find a nice kill onto the Urgot right afterwards, which is great. So now that Yasuo did use his wind wall, we kind of wait for the wind wall to go out, and then we ult him. But that shielding is pretty absurd. Like, holy crap. The shielding is absolutely insane. We eventually get the kill into him anyway, though, so I don't mind. And then we end up killing Sivir, I believe. The Jhin ends up finishing it off, and then we get the Yuumi as well. So we get a nice double kill there. You can see the burst damage, you know, just the absolute carry potential. And this is really what I've been able to start doing pretty consistently on Syndra, is, you know, just popping off in the late game. All that really matters in the early game is, do I get my stacks up? Pretty much always been able to get my stacks really well. And then I hit this certain item spike, and it's like, yeah, they just can't deal with me. And so now we just go cover the mid wave. We get the Baron for free as a team. We end up catching out the Urgot as well there with a nice little kill. And, you know, at this point, pretty straightforward. So again, we're just going to kind of skip through some of the wave clear things, some of the more straightforward things, just to make the video a bit shorter. And, you know, again, the main point of this video was to show you guys the master versatility and let you guys know that we will be mainly one-tricking mid lane, Syndra, and Echo right now. So if you come to my stream, you're going to see me playing Syndra or Echo pretty much every chance I get, because I'm trying to get those champions to 12,000 champion score each. After that, I'm going to try to get probably Warwick to 12,000 champion score, and then that'll probably be mostly what I'm able to do this season. And then here, look how hard they target me, by the way. They really try to dive onto me super hard. But we get the stasis, we end up having the flash, we had the cleanse, and we still kill the Vi. And then eventually Yasuo does go on to us and kill us, but by the time he does, we got all of our damage out. Our team ended up coming and helping us, and we pretty much aced them there. So yeah, like that's really going to be the main focus. I know before I was kind of saying how this season I wanted to play kind of a lot more champions and whatever, and we kind of did that in the early season where I learned a lot of new champions. I mean, such as Echo and Syndra are both champions I learned this season. Arius and these other ones that we made videos on, making videos on the meta for you guys. But now I've kind of wanted to shift towards having this new goal of master versatility, because it's so rare that I've literally never seen someone with level 3, and so I definitely want to try to get level 3, and the goal is to reach that by next season. This season, again, getting probably 3 more champions to level or to champion score 12,000, and then getting 12,000 champ score on 3 others next season, which would end up finishing that goal. We actually hit Grandmaster off this game too, so we've been playing some regular rank now that we hit Vanquisher. Legend queue is long matchmaking time, so we've been doing regular rank, but we'll go back to legend queue as well when the queue times shorten up. But yeah, that's pretty much all that I had for this video, just letting you guys know sort of the update on the fact that we got Master of Versatility level 2, showing you the Syndra gameplay, all of that good stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.